Tziel moved his long blue fingers across the ancient data console. The archives room was quiet except for the soft hum of machines. Dust floated in the air, visible in the dim blue light of the massive underground chamber. "We should finish soon," said Mektora, his yellow eyes blinking rapidly. "The Council expects this section to be organized by tomorrow." Tziel nodded. As junior archivists, they had been given the boring task of sorting through forgotten files from centuries ago. The work was dull but safe, perfect for two friends who preferred books to adventure. "Wait," Tziel said suddenly. His hand stopped over a strange file. "This doesn't belong here." Mektora moved closer. "What is it?" "A sealed record. Security level Omega." Tziel's antenna twitched with excitement. "That's the highest level. Only Council elders can access these." Mektora looked nervous. "We should report it and move on." But Tziel was already examining the file. "It's about a species called humans." He looked up. "Have you ever heard of them?" "No. There are thousands of species in the galaxy. We can't know them all. But this file is Omega level. And look," Tziel pointed to the date stamp. "It's 300 years old but was accessed by Elder Threll just last week." Mektora's skin changed from green to pale yellow, a sign of his worry. "We really shouldn't." "Just a quick look," Tziel said. He used his senior archivist's access code, breaking at least 3 Council laws. To his surprise, the file opened. The screen filled with images of beings that looked somewhat like Centauri, but with no scales, just smooth skin in different shades of brown, tan, and pink. They had hair on their heads and stood on 2 legs. "Humans," Tziel read. "Originally from planet Earth, Sol system." He scrolled through the file. "This says they were part of the Galactic Council 300 years ago. But that's impossible. I've studied all Council member species." Mektora was reading over his shoulder. "It says here they were considered dangerous, unpredictable, highly adaptive." His voice dropped to a whisper. "Look at this section, Extinction Event Protocol." Tziel's hands trembled as he opened that section. "No, this can't be right." The file contained official Council orders to remove humans from the galactic records. There were plans for something called the Earth Solution, and mentions of colony ships. "The Council made them disappear," Mektora said, his voice shaking. "They erased an entire species from history." A noise outside the archives made them both jump. Tziel quickly closed the file and cleared the access log. "We need to be careful," he whispered. "This information could get us killed." Mektora nodded. "We should forget we saw this." "How can we? The Council did something terrible. We have a duty to the truth." They finished their work in silence, both thinking about what they had discovered. Far away, at the edge of known space, a small Council scout ship drifted near an abandoned star system. Officer Draz yawned, bored with his patrol duty. Nothing ever happened in this empty sector. Then an alarm sounded. Draz sat up straight, checking his sensors. "That's strange," he muttered. A signal was coming from the 4th planet of a yellow star. According to the charts, this system had been dead for centuries. No one lived here. The signal came again. It was an old code, not used for hundreds of years, but Draz recognized it from his history studies. It was a human distress call. Draz's hand hovered over the communication panel. Protocol said he should report this to the Council immediately, but something made him hesitate. He made his decision. He would investigate first. After all, humans were just stories from ancient times. They couldn't possibly still exist. He was wrong. Zelnera stood on the bridge of her ship, the Stellar Envoy. Her green skin reflected the light from the control panels as she stared at the strange vessel on the view screen. "Are we sure about this?" she asked her science officer. The science officer nodded. "The ship matches no known design in Council records. And the beings inside, they matched the description of humans." Zelnera had been sent to investigate after Officer Draz reported the strange signal. The Council had acted with unusual speed, sending her with direct orders from Elder Thrall himself. Make contact and report everything. Open a channel, she ordered. The screen flickered, and Zelnera saw humans for the first time. They looked so simple, with their flat faces and two eyes. The lead human had short brown hair and wore a blue uniform. "This is Captain Alan Collins of the exploration vessel Pioneer," the human said. "We come from New Terra in the Epsilon sector." Zelnera stepped forward. "I am Diplomat Zelnera of the Galactic Council. We received your signal. May I ask why you are in this region?" Captain Collins smiled. "We're explorers. Our colony has been expanding its reach for the past 50 years. This is our first contact with any alien civilization." Zelnera noticed a female human beside the captain. She had reddish hair and seemed to be studying Zelnera closely. "I'm Lisa Grant, first officer," the woman said. "We're very excited to meet you. Our history says that we came from a world called Earth, but we've lost the exact location over the generations. Do you know anything about it?" Zelnera felt her throat tighten. Earth was mentioned in the message she received from Elder Thrall. She had been told specifically not to discuss it. "I'm not familiar with that name," she lied. "But the Council welcomes all peaceful species. Would you be willing to come aboard my ship to discuss formal relations?" 2 hours later, Alan and Lisa sat across from Zelnera in her meeting room. They looked strangely at the food offered to them. "Is this safe for us to eat?" Lisa asked. Zelnera nodded. "Our scans show it should be compatible with your biology." Alan took a small bite. "It's good," he said, looking surprised. Zelnera studied them. The Council message had warned that humans were dangerous, but these two seemed friendly. "Tell me about New Terra," she said. Lisa explained how their colony was founded by generation ships that left their home planet about 280 years ago. They had no records of why they left, only that it was necessary. "We've built a good life there," Alan said. "Nearly 1 million humans now, but we've always wondered about our origins." "About Earth." Zelnera changed the subject. "The Council would like to invite you to our homeworld. As the first contact with your species, this is a historic moment." Later, when the humans returned to their ship, Zelnera sent a private message to Elder Thrall. "Humans discovered," she reported. "They claim to be from a colony world and know nothing of their history with the Council. They ask about Earth repeatedly." Elder Thrall's response was immediate. "Bring them to the Council world. Tell them nothing of Earth. This is of highest priority." Zelnera felt uneasy. Why was the Council so interested in these humans? On the Pioneer, Lisa turned to Alan after the door closed. "They're hiding something," she said. "Did you notice how she avoided all questions about Earth?" Alan nodded. "And she seemed surprised to see us, but not surprised enough. It's like they knew humans existed but thought we were gone." "I'm going to ask John to look deeper into our old records," Lisa said. "There has to be more to our history than we know." In the Galactic Council chamber, Elder Thrall called an emergency meeting. "The impossible has happened," he told the gathered elders. "Humans have returned. The great mistake of our ancestors may come back to destroy us all." The Council homeworld of Zelta Prime was beautiful. Tall glass towers reached into the pink sky, while flying vehicles moved between them like fish in a stream. Alan and Lisa walked with Ambassador Thrall through a large garden filled with plants from 100 different worlds. "This will be your home during your stay," Thrall said, pointing to a small building near a lake. "We hope you find it comfortable." "Thank you for your hospitality," Alan said. He noticed guards watching them from a distance. "Are those guards for our protection?" Thrall's face twitched slightly. "Just standard security." "Now, tomorrow we will begin talks about trade between New Terra and the Council worlds." After Thrall left, Lisa whispered to Alan, "They're watching our every move." Alan nodded. "And did you notice how we're kept away from other aliens? It's like they don't want us talking to anyone else. Lisa looked out the window at the beautiful city. They've given us maps, but half the buildings are marked as restricted. What are they hiding? Back on the Pioneer, which remained in orbit, John Patterson sat at his computer. As the ship's scientist, he had been studying the old records from Newterra's archives. Most information about Earth was lost or corrupted, but not all. There has to be something here, he muttered. He ran a new program to check hidden data in the ship's navigation system. The system beeped, and John sat up straight. That's odd. The original course plotted by the generation ships that brought humans to Newterra was still in the system, but it wasn't a random escape route as everyone believed. It was carefully planned to take them far from something called Council space. They weren't just leaving Earth, John realized. They were running from the Council. In the Galactic archives, Hazolvarian and Mektora were worried. News had spread quickly about the human visitors. We need to warn them, Hazolvarian said. If what we read is true, the Council might try to eliminate them again. Mektora looked around nervously. How? We're just archivists. We can't get near the human quarters. Hazolvarian showed a small card. I copied their file access codes. We can leave them a message in the visitor database they've been given access to. That night, as Lisa checked the Council database they were allowed to use, she found a strange message. The truth about Earth is in the sealed archives. Humans were betrayed. Meet us at the Garden of Memories at midnight. Friends. Lisa showed Ellen the message. It could be a trap, she said. Ellen fought for a moment. Or it could be the answers we're looking for. I'll go. We'll both go, Lisa said firmly. At midnight, they slipped past their guards and found their way to the Garden of Memories. It was dark, with only small lights along the paths. They waited by a statue of a long-dead Council hero. I was afraid you wouldn't come, a voice said. Hazolvarian and Mektora stepped out from behind some trees. They looked nervous. Who are you? Ellen asked. Friends, Hazolvarian said. We work in the archives. We found files about humans that were supposed to be deleted. What did they say? Lisa asked. Mektora looked around to make sure they were alone. The Council feared humans 300 years ago. Your species was advancing too quickly, adapting to new technologies faster than any other race. There was a plan, Hazolvarian continued. Something called the Earth Solution. We couldn't access all the details, but it involved removing humans from the galaxy. Lisa's face went pale. Are you saying the Council made Earth evacuate? Forced our ancestors to leave? Hazolvarian nodded. And then they erased almost all records that humans ever existed. But why? Aelin asked. Because they were afraid, a new voice said. They all turned to see Ambassador Threll standing on the path, with 4 guards behind him. Ambassador Threll stepped forward, his long robes flowing around him. The garden was quiet except for the soft sound of water from a nearby fountain. You should not be here, Threll said. His voice was calm, but his eyes were cold. Hazolvarian and Mektora moved closer to Alan and Lisa. They were shaking with fear. We deserve to know the truth, Alan said, standing tall. What did the Council do to Earth, to humanity? Threll was silent for a moment. Then he sighed and waved his guards back. Perhaps it is time, he said. Follow me, all of you. They walked through empty hallways to a small room deep inside the Council building. Inside was only a table with chairs around it. The walls were plain white. This room has no listening devices, Threll said as they sat down. What I tell you now is known only to the Council elders. Lisa leaned forward. We're listening. 300 years ago, humans joined the galactic community, Threll began. At first, all was well. But humans advanced too quickly. They learned alien technologies faster than any species we had seen before. They improved upon them. They were unpredictable. Is that a crime? Aelin asked. No, but it made many species afraid. Humans went from primitive space travel to matching our most advanced ships in just 50 years. The Council feared what humans might become in another 100 years. Mektora spoke up, so the Council decided to get rid of them. Threll nodded slowly. A group within the Council created a plan. They would not destroy humans. That would be genocide. Instead, they would separate humans from the rest of the galaxy. They created a crisis on Earth, making humans believe they needed to evacuate. You forced our ancestors to abandon their homeworld. Lisa asked, her voice rising. The Council helped build the colony ships. They sent humans to distant places, far from Council space. Then they removed Earth's location from all maps and deleted most records of human existence. Alan's hands tightened into fists. And Earth, what happened to our home planet? It still exists, Threll said, but it is surrounded by automated defense systems that keep everyone away. The Council tells everyone it is a quarantine zone for a deadly plague. Lisa shook her head in disbelief. For 300 years, you've kept us isolated, kept us from knowing our history. The Council has monitored the human colonies, Threll admitted. When any colony began advancing too quickly, small problems would be created. Resources would become scarce. Leaders would make bad decisions. Nothing direct, just enough to slow progress. Thalvarian looked disgusted. This is against everything the Council stands for. It was done to protect the galaxy, Threll insisted. No, Alan said firmly. It was done because you were afraid. On the Pioneer, John Patterson had made another discovery. He ran to the communication room to call Alan and Lisa, but all channels to the planet were blocked. This isn't good, he said to himself. John had found old coordinates hidden in the ship's memory, coordinates that might lead to Earth. He also found fragmented messages from the original generation ship leaders, talking about a Council betrayal and returning home someday. Back in the secret room, Lisa asked the question that was on everyone's mind. What will the Council do now that humans have been found again? Threll looked uncomfortable. There is disagreement. Some believe humans should be welcomed back as equals. Others fear what might happen if humans learn the truth and find Earth again. And what do you believe? Alan asked. Before Threll could answer, the door burst open. Council guards rushed in with weapons drawn. Ambassador Threll, you are ordered to step away from the humans, the League guard said. By order of Elder Malvik, these humans are to be detained, along with the archivists. Threll looked shocked. On what grounds? Threat to galactic security, the guard replied. The humans have discovered old Earth coordinates. The Council has decided they must not be allowed to return home. The cell was small and cold. Alan, Lisa, Thalvarian, and Mektora sat on hard benches, watching the energy field that blocked the doorway. What do we do now? Mektora asked, his skin pale with fear. Lisa stood up and examined the walls. We need to contact John on the Pioneer. He might be our only hope. On the Pioneer, John was worried. His friends had not returned or made contact in 12 hours. Something was wrong. He tried calling them again. Captain Collins, please respond, he said into the communicator. There was no answer. A young crew member named Ryan ran into the room. Sir, Council ships are approaching. They're ordering us to power down and prepare to be boarded. John made a quick decision. Get everyone to battle stations. Prepare for emergency jump. But sir, Ryan said, we can't leave the captain and first officer. We're not leaving them, John said firmly. We're going to save them. In the Council's main control center, Elder Malvik watched the human ship on a large screen. They're powering up weapons, an officer reported. And their engines are hot. Elder Malvik frowned. Disable that ship. Use non-lethal force if possible, but that ship must not escape. In their cell, Alan heard alarms begin to sound throughout the building. Something's happening, he said. Ambassador Threll appeared at their cell door. He looked around quickly, then deactivated the energy field. "Come with me," he said, quickly. Lisa was suspicious. "Why are you helping us?" "Because the Council is wrong," Threll said. "What we did to humans was wrong. I will not let it happen again." He led them through back hallways and secret passages until they reached a small landing pad with a shuttle. "This will take you to your ship," Threll said, handing Alan a small data cube. "This contains the true coordinates of Earth and the deactivation codes for its defense systems." "Why?" Alan asked, taking the cube. "My grandmother was one of the council members who opposed the plan against humans. She kept records, hoping someday to make it right." Threll looked sad. "I wish I had her courage earlier." Above the planet, the Pioneer dodged energy blasts from council ships. John was a scientist, not a military commander, but he was doing his best. "Shields at 60%, Ryan reported. "We can't take much more." Then John saw a small shuttle racing up from the planet. The computer identified Alan and Lisa on board. "Open docking bay 3, John ordered, "and prepare for jump as soon as they're aboard." Minutes later, Alan and Lisa ran onto the bridge with 2 alien friends. John was surprised to see aliens, but there was no time for questions. "We have Earth's coordinates," Alan said, holding up the data cube. "Get us out of here, now." The Pioneer jumped into hyperspace just as more Council ships arrived. They were free, but the Council would follow. In the ship's meeting room, Alan showed everyone the information from Threll. "Earth is real," he said, "and we now know how to find it." Lisa studied the star charts. "It will take us 4 days at top speed. The Council ships will be right behind us." "Then we better hurry," John said. During the journey, Alan noticed something strange. Old songs and stories he had known since childhood began to make new sense. The lullaby about blue oceans and green lands wasn't just a made-up story. It described Earth. The legend of the Great Journey wasn't myth, but history. "Our people remembered," he told Lisa one night. "Even when they tried to make us forget, we kept our history alive in our stories." Lisa nodded. "We never really lost Earth. We carried it with us." On the 4th day, they reached the coordinates. Through the view screen, they saw a yellow star with several planets. The 3rd planet was blue and green, just like in the old songs. "Earth," Ellen whispered. But surrounding the planet was a ring of massive defense platforms. As the Pioneer approached, the platforms began to glow with power. "They're activating," John said with alarm. "The defense systems are targeting us." The defense platforms around Earth glowed with bright energy. Large weapons turned toward the Pioneer. Everyone on the bridge held their breath. "Use the codes," Lisa said quickly. "The ones Threll gave us." Alan inserted the data cube into the ship's computer, sending deactivation codes now. Nothing happened. The defense platforms continued to charge their weapons. "It's not working," John said, his voice tight with fear. His Elvarian stepped forward. "The codes must be old. They've probably been changed." Alan tried again, sending the codes on different frequencies. Still nothing. "We came all this way," Lisa whispered. "We can't fail now." Suddenly, the defense platforms stopped charging. Their lights dimmed slightly. "What's happening?" Mektora asked. A voice came through the ship's speakers. "Unknown vessel, identify yourselves. This is Earth Defense Command." Alan couldn't believe it. "This is Captain Alan Collins of the Pioneer. We are humans from the colony world New Terra." There was a long silence. Then the voice returned. "Transmit biological scans of all human crew members." John quickly sent the data. Again, they waited. Finally, the defense platforms began to move aside, creating a path to Earth. "Pioneer, you are cleared to approach. Follow the designated path exactly. Any deviation will result in immediate defensive action." The ship carefully moved through the opening. As they got closer to Earth, they could see blue oceans and green continents, just like in the old stories. White clouds swirled across the surface. "It's beautiful," Lisa said, staring at the view screen. They followed a guidance signal to a landing facility near a large city. As the Pioneer touched down, they could see people gathering to watch. "They look just like us," John said in wonder. The crew prepared to exit the ship. Ellen, Lisa, John, Hezaldler, and Mektora walked down the ramp together. A small group waited for them. At the front stood a woman with short gray hair and a uniform with many badges. "I am General Kate Wilson of Earth Defense Command," she said. "Welcome home." Ellen stepped forward. "Thank you. I'm Captain Alan Collins. This is my crew and our friends." General Wilson looked at the two aliens with interest. "Friends from the Council. They helped us find Earth," Lisa explained. Not everyone in the Council agreed with what was done to humanity. General Wilson nodded. "Come with me. There's much to discuss." They were taken to a large building in the center of the city. Inside, they sat at a round table in a room with windows overlooking the city. Kate Wilson sat across from them. "You must have questions," she said. "Many," Alan agreed. "How are humans still on Earth? We were told everyone was forced to evacuate." Kate leaned forward. "Not everyone left. When our leaders discovered the Council's plan to remove humanity from the galactic stage, they created two plans. Most people were sent on colony ships to distant worlds, but a smaller group stayed behind." "But the Council would have found you," John said. "Not with the defense network," Kate explained. "It was built using technology we had secretly developed. The Council never knew how advanced we really were." Lisa looked confused. "If you had such technology, why not fight back?" "We weren't ready for a war with the entire Council," Kate said. "And we knew that someday our colony worlds would grow strong enough to return. We've been waiting for 300 years for this day. The Council is still after us," Alan said. "They'll be here soon." Kate smiled. "We're counting on it. Earth hasn't been idle all these centuries. We've prepared for this moment." She pressed a button on the table, and a hologram appeared showing Earth and its defense network. But the network was much larger than what they had seen from space. Hundreds of platforms were hidden, deactivated until needed. "The Council thinks they know what humans are capable of," Kate said. "They're about to learn how wrong they've been." Outside the windows, sirens began to sound. An officer rushed into the room. "General Wilson," he said, "we've detected multiple Council warships entering the system." Kate stood up. "Then it's time. Alert all stations. Operation Homecoming has begun." The command center beneath the city was huge. Hundreds of people worked at control stations while giant screens showed the approaching Council ships. Alan, Lisa, and John watched in amazement. "You've been preparing for this for 300 years?" Lisa asked. Kate nodded. "We knew the Council would never just let humans exist in peace, not once they discovered how quickly we advance." On the main screen, 20 Council warships moved closer to Earth. They were big and powerful, designed to fight wars against other major powers. "Those ships could destroy the planet," Mektora said quietly. "They could try," Kate replied with a small smile. She turned to a young officer. "Begin defensive measures. Pattern Alpha." The hidden defense platforms suddenly became visible around Earth. There were hundreds of them, far more than the Council knew about. The platforms formed a tight grid, connecting with beams of energy. On the Council command ship, Commander Drav watched with growing concern. "Those are not standard defense systems," he said to Elder Malvik, who had come to oversee the operation personally. "It doesn't matter," Elder Malvik replied. "Humanity must be contained again. We cannot allow them to rejoin the galactic community with knowledge of what we did." Commander Drav wasn't so sure. "The defense grid is unlike anything in our records." "Begin the attack," Elder Malvik ordered. The Council ships fired powerful energy weapons at Earth's defense grid. But something strange happened. The grid absorbed the energy, growing brighter. In Earth's command center, Kate smiled. "Now," she said, The defense grid released the absorbed energy back at the Council ships. 3 smaller ships were hit, their shields failing immediately. "Impossible," Eldarian whispered. "They're using energy reflection technology. That's centuries beyond what the Council has." Kate turned to Alan. "While the Council tried to keep human colonies from advancing, we on Earth had no such limitations. We've developed technologies the Council can't imagine." The Council ships regrouped and tried a different attack pattern, but Earth's defenses were too strong. "We can defeat them," Lisa said. "But then what? Endless war with the Council." Alan shook his head. "That's not what humanity needs. We need to end this cycle of fear." He turned to Kate. "Is there a way to communicate with all Council ships at once?" "Yes," Kate said. "But what do you have in mind?" Alan looked at his friends. "The Council feared humans because we were unpredictable. Let's show them just how unpredictable we can be." Minutes later, Alan stood before a camera. His message would go to every Council ship, and through their networks, to the entire galactic community. "People of the Galactic Council," he began. "I am Captain Alan Collins from Newterra, a human colony world. For 300 years, the Council has hidden the truth about Earth and humanity. Today that ends." Alan explained how the Council had forced humans to leave Earth, erased their history, and kept the colonies isolated. "But we're not here for revenge," he continued. "Humanity could destroy your fleet today. Instead, we offer peace." In the command ship, Elder Melvick watched the broadcast with growing anger, but Commander Drav and other officers listened carefully. Back on Earth, Alan finished his message. "The Council feared humanity's potential, but potential can be used for good as well as harm. We choose cooperation over conflict. We choose to forgive, though we will never forget. The choice now is yours." The command center was silent when Alan finished. Kate looked at him with respect. "You really believe they'll choose peace?" she asked. "Some will," Alan said. "Others won't. But now the truth is out there. The entire galaxy knows what happened." On the Council ships, arguments broke out. Many officers had never known about the Council's actions against humanity. Some refused to continue fighting. Commander Drav faced Elder Malvik. "I will not attack without provocation. The humans offer peace. They are dangerous." Elder Malvik insisted. "They cannot be trusted." But one by one, the Council ships powered down their weapons. Only Elder Malvik's command ship continued to prepare for attack. In Earth's command center, an officer reported, 19 Council ships have stood down. Only the lead ship is still combat-ready. Kate looked at Alan. "It seems your unpredictable approach worked." "Mostly." Elder Malvik's command ship moved closer to Earth, weapons still active. The other Council ships had backed away, refusing to fight. "One ship can still do a lot of damage," Kate said, watching the screens closely. "Should we take it out?" Alan shook his head. "Not yet. Let's see if they make the right choice." On the command ship, Commander Drav stood with other officers facing Elder Malvik. "This attack is unauthorized," Drav said firmly. "The Council must vote on any military action of this scale." "I am the Council," Elder Malvik shouted. "Humanity is too dangerous to exist freely in the galaxy. Our ancestors knew this." "Our ancestors were wrong," a new voice said. Ambassador Threll walked onto the bridge. He had followed the fleet in a fast scout ship. "The full Council has been watching these events," Threll announced. "They have voted. Elder Malvik no longer speaks for the Council." Malvik's face turned dark with anger. "You cannot remove me. I have served for 100 years. And in that time, you continued a great injustice," Threll replied. "It ends today." Guards moved to surround Malvik. Commander Drav ordered all weapons powered down. On Earth, the tension in the command center eased as they watched the Council ship's weapons go dark. "They've stood down," Kate announced. Everyone cheered. 3 days later, representatives from the Council met with Earth's leaders in a grand hall in the city. Alan, Lisa, John, Exile Varian, and Mektora sat with Kate at the main table. Ambassador Threll, now speaking as the new lead elder, addressed the gathering. For 3 centuries, the Council committed a grave injustice against humanity, he said. Today, we acknowledge this wrong and seek to make amends. The formal agreement was simple. Earth would rejoin the galactic community. All human colonies would be contacted and given the truth about their history. The Council would provide technology and support to help reconnect the scattered human worlds. After the meeting, Alan stood with Lisa by a large window, looking out at the city. Ships from various human colonies were already arriving as the news spread. "I still can't believe it," Lisa said. "A week ago, we didn't even know Earth existed. Now we're helping reunite humanity." Alan smiled. The Council's fear was always misplaced. They were afraid of what we might become, but they never considered that we might become friends rather than enemies. Kate joined them, bringing drinks to celebrate. "Have you decided what you'll do next, Captain Collins?" Alan looked at the stars becoming visible in the evening sky. The Pioneer was built to explore. There's still so much of the galaxy we haven't seen. And now we can see it as equals, not as refugees hiding our identity. Lisa added. Across the room, Exile Varian and Mektora were talking with other aliens who had come with the Council delegation. Their bravery in helping humans had made them heroes to many. "The truth has a way of coming out," John said, joining the conversation. "No matter how long it takes." 6 months later, the galactic map had changed dramatically. Human colonies from across the galaxy had established contact with Earth and with each other. Knowledge and technology flowed freely between worlds that had been isolated for centuries. The Council itself was different too. New voices, including human representatives, brought fresh perspectives. Many old secrets were revealed and addressed. The Pioneer, with Alan still as captain, had a new mission now. They traveled between human worlds, helping reconnect the scattered children of Earth. Lisa served as ambassador, while John led research teams studying the unique developments each colony had made in isolation. On a special day marking the official return of humanity to the galactic community, ships from all human worlds gathered around Earth. It was the largest gathering of humans since the Great Evacuation 300 years earlier. Kate and Alan stood together watching the celebration. "The Council feared humanity's return," Kate said. "They were right to be afraid, but not for the reasons they thought." "How so?" Alan asked. Kate smiled. "They feared we would seek revenge. Instead, we changed everything by choosing a better way. Sometimes, the most unpredictable thing is not choosing the path of power, but the path of peace." Alan nodded. "That's the true strength of humanity. Not that we're better or stronger, but that we can always choose to be better tomorrow than we were yesterday." High above, the stars shone on a galaxy forever changed by humanity's return.